And to build a consistent brand in the eyes of your customers, you have to get clear who you are and what the value proposition is that your business represents and stands for. The clearer you get about that, the easier it is to communicate that, and the more you can build that equity where people know what to look for you for. So, branding or identity is the second key skill in building a thriving business. And here's why I want to bring you back to the central message that I hope you take away from this, which is that key skills multiply one another's effectiveness, whereas the secondary or peripheral skills only add to one another's effectiveness. And let's look at these first two key skills to see that. I want you to notice, one, you can be truly profoundly authentic, but be horrible at branding. And in reverse, you can be great at branding, but be really horrible in your authenticity. In either case, what's going to happen is those two things are going to end up canceling each other out. And it doesn't matter how good you get at branding, if your brand is full of BS, then you're not going to be successful. Your business is going to blow up in your face. You need to be good at both of them. And when you're good at both of them, when you have a profound authenticity and you express that authenticity through your brand, through a consistent brand, then your brand becomes an expression of your authenticity. And the more people understand your brand, the more they trust you as a company. It's that multiplication effect that I want you to keep in mind as we go through the rest of the 10 skills, because the more you recognize the importance of key skills versus peripheral skills, the more you'll make sure that you're investing your time into key skills to get the biggest bang for your buck, the best return on your investment. And that brings us to the third key skill of the Authentic Business course, which is niching or positioning. And if branding is about clearly defining the value proposition that you bring so that people can recognize it, niching is finding the ideal clients to offer that value proposition to, right? Clients that have three major features. One, they have a desire or a need for what it is that you offer. They can benefit from your value proposition. Second, they have the capacity to recognize that your product or service fills their value needs. And third, they have the money to pay for what it is that you bring. Because it doesn't matter how authentic you are or how clear your brand is. If you're talking to somebody who just doesn't care, they're not going to buy. And even if they care, if they can't understand your value proposition, understand how it feels on them, they're still not going to buy. And even if they want it, and even if they understand how you can bring it to them, if they can't afford you, it's not going to happen, and your business will die. And that brings us to the fourth key skill of authentic business, which is messaging. And we describe messaging as your ability to craft a message, to communicate to your potential client in a way that they can understand and that motivates them to take action. Because we get back to the basics, right? People don't buy for our reasons, they buy for their reasons. And so the skill of messaging is your ability to take your value proposition and translate it into terms, into experiences that the potential client can understand and that will motivate them to actually take action. Because again, it doesn't matter how great your authenticity is and how clear your brand is or how precisely you've defined your niche. If you can't communicate to them in a way that they understand your value proposition and say, wow, I could really do that, and then give them a means and a methodology for them to actually take action that they can believe will work so that they'll go ahead and do it, then you haven't crafted a message that's going to be effective. And again, notice the multiplication here. Unless you can create effective messaging, you're not going to have a successful business. So the fourth key skill in authentic business is messaging. Bringing us to the fifth of the key skills of authentic business, which we call marketing. And if messaging is about crafting a compelling communication that will get our target market to respond, marketing is about how we actually get that message to our potential clients. Marketing is about the vehicle that we use in order to get our message to our potential market. And I like to talk about two different parts of marketing, which we might call the medium and the media. Now, the medium is the actual structure, you could say, that the message goes across. So examples of medium might be radio and television and newspapers and magazines and the internet. Right? These are different structures across which we send our message. So that's the medium. The media, on the other hand, is the actual form that we put our message in a particular medium. So for example, on the internet, we might have blogs and article marketing and podcasts and social media and videos, right? Those are the different media that we use within the particular medium. Now notice, you can get good at just one medium and just one media in that medium and build a successful business. That can work. But if you learn multiple media within the same medium, you can start to get an additive effect. And if you get good at one medium, you can then switch to another medium and build up the media to be successful in that. Now again, notice this is an additive effect because these are all pieces within the key skill of marketing. And notice the difference between the additive effect and the multiplying effect, because you can have great mastery of a particular medium and be really good at taking your message and putting it into different media within that. So you can be really good at the marketing aspect. But if you don't have a good message, nothing's going to happen. Or if you're not sending your message to the right niche, nothing's going to happen. Or if you don't have a brand, if people, when they get the message, they don't know who you are and what you're about, it's not going to work. And if you're full of BS, your business is going to explode, right? So again, notice the difference between the multiplication effect between the key skills and the additive effect within each of the key skills. So the fifth key skill is marketing, which is about the medium and the media, which leads us to the sixth key skill, which is sales, or moving from curiosity to commitment. And we might say that this sixth skill of sales, or moving from curiosity to commitment, is where the rubber meets the road in the process of building your authentic business, your authentic service business. Because if you get the appropriate marketing, and so you've got the message across, and you've got people interested, you've got people to say, yes, raise their hand, I want more information, tell me how you can help me. Now, the question is, how do you take them from that place of curiosity into a place of them committing and saying, yes, I will buy your service, I will do the work required and pay you the money required in order to get the results that I now understand that I've got? How do you get people from, that might be right for me, to, yes, I'm willing to take action? Because notice, the first 5 key skills of authentic business can be done on your own while you're sitting in your office planning and building the particular structures. But when it comes time for sales, for the actual conversation that leads from curiosity to commitment, this is where yourself is in communication with another self. This is where you get eye to eye and speak from I to thou, from one human being to another human being. Sales is where the process of business becomes personal, and it's where you build the real relationship in your business. Sales is where the action of the game is. It's where the game is actually played. Again, all the other pieces need to be in place. But when it comes down to it, if you can't guide someone through the process of recognizing that it's in their best interest to take action, and then help guide them through the inertia of not taking action and playing it safe, then your business is not going to thrive. And in fact, might just die, even if you've got authenticity and branding and niching and messaging and marketing in place. Sales is a key skill with a multiple effect. Which brings us to the 7th key skill in the Authentic Business course, which is fulfillment, or the actual delivery of your service to your client. This is what everything else has been leading up to. This is where you fulfill on the promises that you've made all through the process to get them to this point.